The boy who believed. Slow opening, faint city sounds, distant cars, footsteps, children's laughter fading between buildings. He wasn't born into luxury, and he wasn't born into legends. He was born into dreams, dreams that didn't yet know how fragile they could be. São Paulo, a city that never sleeps, a city that doesn't ask who you want to become. It asks only one thing: can you survive? Here, millions of kids dream the same dream. Here, a soccer ball isn't a toy, it's a ticket. A chance, a last hope to escape the noise, the poverty, the forgetting. A small boy runs through narrow streets. The asphalt is burning hot. His knees are always scraped. The ball is worn, scuffed, imperfect, but it's always there. It's bigger than his hands, bigger than his fears, and maybe bigger than his hope. He's not running toward the goal, he's running toward himself. Soccer isn't a game to him. It isn't an escape. It's a language he speaks with life. When words aren't enough, when the world feels too loud, when the future feels too far away, every touch of the ball is like a prayer. Every shot is faith that tomorrow will be better. And it feels like everything is just beginning. Then, the fall. One moment, 1 second, one wrong movement that splits life into before and after. Silence, white hospital walls, the smell of medicine, adults with faces too serious, words a child should never hear, a spinal injury, risk, uncertainty. They tell him he might never run again, that soccer might be a chapter he'll have to close before ever reaching the end. In moments like this, dreams usually die, quietly, without noise. They simply disappear. But not this time, because real stories begin. When the world tells you to stop, when fear whispers, enough, when hope feels too weak to hold on to, that's when the little boy makes a choice. He believes, not in fame, not in money, not in trophies. He believes his journey isn't over yet. And if the ball ever touches his feet again, it won't be an accident. It will be an answer. Always. When talent finds its stage, the rhythm accelerates. The heartbeat grows louder. Out of the silence comes a sound, first distant, then closer. The roar of the crowd, thousands of voices, a city breathing soccer. Some players spend years learning how to be stars. They copy movements, study gestures, play a role. And then there are those who simply step onto the field, and the world adjusts to them. He doesn't announce himself. He doesn't demand attention. He just plays. When he arrives in Milan, not everyone knows his name. To many, he's just another Brazilian, another transfer, another risk. But he knows himself. He knows he didn't come by accident. He knows his path isn't about noise. It's about the moment. First training sessions, new faces, a faster game, colder air. European soccer doesn't forgive weakness. It doesn't wait for confidence. Here it's simple. You survive or you disappear. Then, his first time on the field. Floodlights. Green grass. A stadium watching, but not believing yet. First touch. A test. A question. Who are you? First burst forward. Sharp. Fearless. First dribble. Clean. Effortless. As if the defender were a shadow, not an obstacle. First goal. 1 second of silence. That moment when no one yet understands what they've just seen. Then, explosion. The crowd wakes up. Teammates look differently. Coaches say nothing, because words aren't needed anymore. He doesn't break opponents. He doesn't fight with anger. He doesn't play against them. He moves around them as if he already knows every step. As if he sees the game 1 second ahead. As if the field opens just for him. His dribbling isn't showmanship. His speed isn't brute force. There's no aggression in his game. Only precision, only rhythm, only timing. He runs, and the field seems shorter beneath his feet. He accelerates, and defenders fall behind, not because they're slower, but because they think slower. His shots are calm. No rage, no violence. Like the final punctuation mark in a sentence he's been writing all along. Every match becomes proof. This isn't luck. This isn't a flash. This is identity. The stadium starts saying his name. Quietly at first, then louder, braver. He never asks for love, but it comes anyway. And the smile, soft, peaceful, the same one after every goal. It feels like a challenge to modern soccer. I'm not here for war. I'm not here for hate. I'm not here for pain. I'm here to create. In a time when soccer grows harder, he stays pure. When victories are bought with force, he earns them with intelligence. Every match makes him heavier for opponents and lighter for history. The stage is found. The lights are on. The talent no longer hides. He plays like someone who knows. This is only the beginning. And so, when you are the best in the world, golden tones, slow motion frames, light falls differently, as if the air itself knows something special is happening. There are moments when time doesn't just slow down, it stops. 2007 is one of those moments. Soccer has seen geniuses, champions, icons, but this time, it sees pure perfection in motion. He doesn't just win an award. He doesn't just come first. He becomes a symbol of an era, the best player on the planet, a man who moves through defenders, the way thoughts move through doubt, without effort, without chaos, without fear. His 2007 isn't a season of matches. It's a single, uninterrupted story. Every appearance, a new page. Every touch, a sentence you can't stop reading. He starts attacks deep, receives the ball with his back to goal, pauses. That pause scares defenders more than his speed, because in that moment, he sees everything, every position, every option, every path. Then, the explosion. One touch, he turns. Second, the ball is gone. Third, the distance to goal disappears. His acceleration doesn't look violent. It looks natural, as if speed is simply his default state. Defenders run. They try. They read the game. But they're reading the past, while he's already in the future. He doesn't rush. He doesn't panic. As he enters the box, calm settles over the field, as if he knows this moment already belongs to him. The shots are precise, often low, often gentle, because power isn't in the leg, it's in the decision. Passes always arrive on time, always into space, where a teammate is about to be. He doesn't play for numbers. He doesn't play for cameras. He plays for the game itself. The Champions League becomes his territory. Big stadiums his stage. Opponents' background noise. The stronger the challenge, the calmer he becomes. Because the higher the level, the clearer true talent appears. His goals are different. Long-range strikes, solo runs, cold finishes. But they share one thing: inevitability. As if the lights are already on, and the ending is written. Then, the climax. The room, the lights, the applause. The Ballon d'Or, the highest individual peak in soccer, dreamed of by millions, reached by a few. He holds it, but doesn't grip it tightly, because to him, it isn't a trophy, it's confirmation. As the world looks at him, he looks upward. Not with pride, not with triumph, with faith. He doesn't celebrate, as if he's conquered everyone. He receives it, as if he's been answered, because he knows this isn't luck, not coincidence, not a lucky year. It's consequence of patience, of work, of purity, of intent. He proves you can be great and still remain light. In a sport where darkness often wins, where anger is mistaken for strength, where masks become identity, he stays himself. No scandals, no dirt, no double faces, no roles, just a man playing soccer the way others play music. 2007 passes, but its echo remains. Because some seasons win trophies, others win eternity, and this was one of them. Into one, when the light begins to fade, the music softens, the notes no longer fly, they settle, the image is slow, as if life itself is trying to hold onto something slipping away. After light comes shadow. After the peak descent, not tragedy, law, a new challenge, a new club, a new beginning, and a new weight. When he moves to Real Madrid, it isn't just a transfer, it's a symbol. The biggest club, the biggest stage, the loudest expectations. The stadium, white jerseys, thousands of cameras, millions of eyes. The world waits for that version, the one who flew past defenders, changed games in one run, smiled and made people believe. But soccer is brutally honest. It doesn't ask who you were yesterday. It only cares who you are today. And the body begins to speak differently. Speed isn't endless anymore. The burst isn't as sharp. Recovery takes longer. Injuries arrive quietly, one after another. Knee, muscles, pain that never appears in highlights. Every comeback feels like a restart. Every restart gets interrupted again. Time takes moments. Not violently, not suddenly, slowly. And that's the hardest part, because falling fast is shock. But being taken piece by piece, that's endurance. The world that once stood applauding now grows silent. Not out of hate, out of habit. It had grown used to the miracle and couldn't accept its fragility. Newspapers look for answers. Experts look for blame. Fans look for the old version. He looks for only one thing: honesty with himself. He no longer plays to prove. He plays to answer. To himself. To the game. To the boy who once ran the streets. He steps onto the field when it hurts. When the form isn't perfect. When the body asks for rest. Not out of anger. Not out of stubbornness. Out of respect. Because true character isn't revealed at the top. It's revealed when breathing is heavy. When the crowd doesn't shout your name. When the camera catches fatigue, not a smile. And you still step forward. His game changes. Less explosion. More intelligence. Fewer sprints. More reading of space. He no longer escapes defenders. He finds solutions. Because talent doesn't disappear. It transforms. Even when the light fades, it doesn't go out immediately. There are flashes, moments, goals that remind the world he's still here. But he no longer chases the past. He doesn't try to be 2007 again, because maturity isn't fighting time. It's accepting its terms. He doesn't vanish. He doesn't break. He doesn't run. He accepts reality and remains himself. In a world that screams, he learns silence. In a world of roles, he wears no mask. The light becomes softer, less blinding, but real. Because greatness isn't always about shining forever. Sometimes it's about not burning out. Ew. The light that never goes out. Silence. No music. No crowd. Only breath. And time that no longer rushes. When stadiums empty. When cameras turn off. When names leave headlines. The story doesn't end. It settles. Because real greatness doesn't disappear with applause. It remains. In memory. In feeling. In the silence between words. Kaká never tried to be a legend. He didn't build an image. He didn't create a myth. He simply was. In a sport ruled by noise, he won with quiet. In a world ruled by ego, he stayed humble. Where anger is mistaken for power, he proved light can be strength. His legacy isn't just goals, not just trophies, not just 2007. It's a feeling. The feeling that soccer can be pure. That talent doesn't need cruelty. That greatness doesn't require darkness. He was loved not for provocation, but for joy. Watched not with fear, but with wonder. Kids copied more than his moves. They copied his smile, because he played like someone who remembered. This is a game. A gift. A moment. He didn't break the game. He harmonized it. When he raised his hands to the sky, it wasn't triumph. It was a reminder. Everything great begins with humility. In an era where idols fall, he stayed balanced. When heroes disappoint, he stayed true. He didn't become perfect. He became real. And maybe that's why. He isn't remembered as the loudest, but as one of the purest. Light doesn't always blind. Sometimes it simply warms. And even when the floodlights go dark, that kind of light never fades, because it lives in hearts, in memories, in those moments when you watched the field and felt not tension, but joy. This isn't a story about falling, nor only about rising. It's a story about a journey, about faith, about a man who proved you can be the best in the world and still remain light. And that's why his name doesn't need to be shouted. It's spoken softly, and it lasts forever.